Sports animes have seen the likes of many different protagonists, all with unique challenges and experiences that help shape who they are. It's why sports animes are so great. It makes you ask, what makes a sports anime protagonist truly unforgettable? We get to see an amateur player more than likely go into a sport and work towards being the best in that respected sport. They laugh and have good times, but also cry and have bad times. With this, it makes you think, how are the best protagonists of these animes written? Sports animes has given me a completely new type of love that other animes don't necessarily have. It makes you falling in love with a sport that you probably never would have watched had it not been for the anime of that sport. I got this video idea from the Masked Man and Johnny Star, so make sure you guys check them out. Sports animes are joy. Sports animes are also suffering. And sports animes are the drama of human life condensed into teams of young adults and adolescents vying, if not to be the very best, to at least do right by the team and themselves. I love sports animes because they seek to understand the complex reasons human beings push their bodies and minds to the limit, even in the face and event of failure. Sports animes will allow us to peek into the inner sanctum of whatever instinct, desire, or need drives people to attempt difficult things over and over and over, an individual and collective celebration of our brief, beautiful existences as capable bodies on this earth. I'm here to argue that you too should partake in the celebration, not by playing sports, but by watching sports anime. A common pitfall for sports animes could be the lack of depth in the anime or the cliches that prevent the character from resonating with his audience. There's also the fact that people will not watch the anime if they don't watch the sport or like the sport. There's so many different types of sports stars you can relate to, especially if you don't even like the sport. KiiNGKhyy, for example, is about a short boy who aspires to become an ace volleyball spiker despite his height. I never would have thought that I would like an anime about volleyball, but yet here we are, and this is one of my favorite animes ever. The Blue Lock anime is about a protagonist named Asagi, whose soccer dreams were crushed, and he gets invited by Ego Jinpachi to join Blue Lock and create an ego to become a superstar. This is also a huge anime that I would not have watched because I'm not a huge football fan. The point is, there's a sports anime out there for everyone. There's many key elements to highlight when choosing a sports anime protagonist and relating to that character, and just how well written they were. The first different type of element that I would say for a well written protagonist in sports anime is relatability. As humans, we all have flaws. A well-written character needs weaknesses or insecurities that readers can relate to, whether it's self-doubt, fear of failure, or personal struggles. Also, they need to ensure their goals in the sport have significant personal meaning, such as proving themselves, achieving a lifelong dream, or supporting their family. A good character to follow this example is Ashido from Aowashi. Initially, Ashido is a brash and naive kid from a remote prefecture called Ehime. As an aspiring player who has dreams of becoming the world's greatest forward, his personality is considered self-centered, arrogant, selfish, and scoring-focused, which can be defined by his playstyle when first joining Esperion. However, that is shattered quickly when not only is his position changed to a defender, Ashido realizes exactly how much he lacks in technique and football knowledge in comparison to the rest of his peers. But instead of falling into despair, he acknowledges his setbacks and asks anyone to help him move forward, showing his eagerness to learn and drive to better himself. Ashido is someone who also understands and needs people in order for him to consistently outdo himself every time he's playing on the pitch. He has a high emotional intelligence as he strives to understand his teammates both in and outside of football. Despite being a hard-headed and outwardly strong player, Ashido's character will crack when facing off against other players his age who are already world-class, possibly displaying a slight case of inferiority complex. However, as with all things related to football, he is not downed by adversity and is only thrilled to seek further challenges to force ever continuous improvement. We can relate to Ashido because of this, and it makes him very relatable. The next key element I would say is skill and dedication. While some level of any ability is common, a well-written protagonist should also work hard to hone their skills. This protagonist should show their dedication through rigorous training, sacrifices, and perseverance, emphasizing that success requires more than just talent. A good character for this is Eijun Sawamura. Eijun has a unique pitching style that caught the attention of the elite Saito High School, at which he was offered a free ride if he would join the baseball team. However, Eijun quickly realized that he would have to work twice as hard if he wanted to keep up with the rest of his teammates and prove that he deserved to be part of the starting lineup. Even though Eijun's story does borrow from Shonen's anime love of hard work and dedication, that's really not the focal point of his story, and it's precisely why many fans find him relatable. Many viewers can relate to his struggles of feeling less than average and the pains of self-comparison, and since Asians rise above that, his story is inspiring. And then another element is a support system. People like mentors and coaches. It includes characters who guide and challenge the protagonists, helping them grow both in and out of the sport. Also, if the sport is team-based, they explore relationships with teammates, highlighting camaraderie, conflicts, and growth. A good character to highlight for this is Shoyo Hinata. Hinata had a great cast around him for what I believe is the best coach in anime, and with volleyball being a way more team-based sport than the others. His teammates gave him the support he needed to help him, despite his limitations in his height. We get to see Karasuno lift themselves high every time, and it was huge in their match against Ushijima and Shiratorizawa Academy, as their backs felt being crushed by a wall, but they got up and won the game. Another key element is personal growth. Now with personal growth, it mainly comes with overcoming adversity. This protagonist should face significant obstacles such as injuries, personal losses, or intense competition, and grow from these challenges. Part of this then leads to character development. They're able to show their evolution just not as an athlete, but as a person, learning important life lessons along the way. Personal growth is essential to writing a good anime sports protagonist, and a great example of this would be Asagi Yoichi. Asagi entered Blue Lock faced with what felt like a battlefield every day, working day in and day out to survive in this new ego-centered style of football. He had to deal with losing friends who he just came to learn and treat everyone around him as an enemy as well. He had doubts of not being able to catch up to other geniuses in Blue Lock, but would eventually recondition his mind to get rid of that fear. Asagi has grown a lot throughout Blue Lock, not only as an athlete, but as a person, taking in a lot of life lessons along the way and learning more and more about himself, and just people in general. Blue Lock has had some crazy moments in the series, and Asagi has been crowned the hero of Blue Lock right now, saving it from the brink of closing down. As the series goes on, we will get to see more of Asagi as he works towards being the best striker in the world. Then another element is emotional depth. Now with emotional depth, it's mainly dealing with internal struggles. A good written sports protagonist will delve into their inner conflicts, whether it's balancing the sport with other life aspects, dealing with pressure, or handling success and failure. They also need a really good passion for the sport. They need to be able to illustrate what drives their love for the sport, be it the thrill of competition, the sense of accomplishment, or the community it brings. A good character for this is Endo from Inazuma 11. Endo's love for soccer is deeply connected to his grandfather, Daisuke Endo, a legendary goalkeeper. Growing up hearing stories about his grandfather's exploits on the field, Endo developed an early and intense passion for the sport. This connection isn't just about family pride, it's about continuing a legacy. The techniques and strategies his grandfather left behind in his notebooks serve as both a guide and a symbol of Endo's love for soccer. Every time he practices a new move or uses one of his grandfather's techniques, it's a way of honoring that legacy. Endo's enthusiasm for soccer is contagious. His eyes light up whenever soccer is mentioned, and his energy is seemingly limitless when it comes to practicing or playing the game. He's the type of person who will play soccer anytime, anywhere, and with anyone. This enthusiasm is not just for winning or being the best, it's for the sheer joy of playing the game. Endo sees soccer as more than just a sport. It's a way of life, a source of joy, and a means of connecting with others. Endo's love for soccer is most evident in how he faces challenges, whether it's dealing with a tough opponent, overcoming personal limitations, or rallying his team after a loss. His passion never wavers. His determination to protect his goal and lead his team stems from a deep love for the game itself. Even when the odds are stacked against him, Endo never gives up, because giving up on soccer would be like giving up on a part of himself. This relentless drive is fueled by his pure love for the sport, which keeps him going no matter how tough things get. For Endo, soccer is more than just a game. It's a universal language that connects people from different backgrounds, cultures, and experiences. Throughout the series, he encounters many different players, each with their own reasons for playing soccer. Despite their differences, Endo believes that the love of the game can bridge any gap. He respects opponents who share his passion, even when they're on opposing sides. His belief in the power of soccer to unite people is a central theme in his character arc. Endo's love for soccer is also a journey of continuous growth. He never sees himself as having arrived or being complete as a player. Instead, he's always looking to learn more, improve his skills, and become a better goalkeeper and captain. His passion drives him to seek out new challenges and push his limits. This growth mindset, fueled by his love for the sport, is a key part of what makes Endo such a compelling character. Perhaps the most telling aspect of Endo's love for soccer is that it's not dependent on the victory. Of course, he loves to win, but what matters most to him is the spirit of the game. Whether his team wins or loses, Endo is always ready to move forward, learn from the experience, and keep playing. His love for soccer transcends the typical desire for glory or recognition. It's about the pure, unadulterated joy of playing the game. His passion for the game is not just about playing. It's about living, growing, and connecting with others through the sport he loves. Then the next key element we have is a compelling backstory. With a compelling backstory, this mainly has to be an origin story, giving this protagonist a memorable introduction to the sport, whether it was a childhood inspiration, a pivotal moment, or a way to escape difficult circumstances. It also talks about their personal history, You're able to develop a backstory that influences their motivations, fears, and aspirations, providing depth and context to their journey. The best character I have for this is KiiNGKhyy. Hearing Kiriko's path in middle school from being an average guy to the sixth man of the greatest middle school team ever was great, and then to have his teammates go off to different schools and be known as the generation of miracles, while Kiriko was a sixth man that no one knew about. Kiriko's introduction to basketball is quite different from that of many of his peers. While many players fall in love with the sport because of a natural talent or desire to stand out, Kiriko's journey begins from a place of almost complete invisibility. As a child, Kiriko was always overlooked, blending into the background in nearly every aspect of his life. He wasn't particularly strong, fast, or tall, and his presence was so subtle that people often forgot he was even there. However, this invisibility turned out to be his greatest asset on the basketball court. Kiriko's initial interest in basketball was sparked not by a love of the sport itself, but by the idea that even someone as seemingly insignificant as him could play a critical role in a team's success. Kiriko's primary motivation is to restore the spirit of teamwork to basketball. He wants to show that even someone like him, who lacks the traditional physical attributes of a basketball player, can make a significant impact through sheer will, strategy, and cooperation. This desire to redefine what it means to be a successful basketball player is what keeps Kiriko going, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. However, Kiriko also harbors deep fears. His biggest fear is that he might fail to change the perception of basketball, that his ideals might be trampled by the overwhelming focus on individual talent. He fears that his philosophy of the game will be dismissed as naive and that the players who value teamwork will be overshadowed by those who play for personal glory. Despite these fears, Kiriko's aspirations remain clear. He dreams of building a team that embodies the true spirit of basketball, a team where every player, regardless of their individual skill, contributes to the victory. His ultimate goal is to defeat the generation of miracles, not just to win, but to prove that teamwork can triumph over individual brilliance. With all of these elements and traits described, it begs the question, who is the best written sports anime protagonist? Well, this answer can be very subjective for many, and I do want to throw out there that I feel like everyone's default answer is Hinata, so I won't make him an option for this video as that seems like the easy route to take. For me though, personally, the best written character is someone who fully embraces all of these elements, which were relatability, skill and dedication, a support system, personal growth, emotional depth, and a compelling backstory. To me, the best candidate for this is none other than Asagi Yoichi. Now, for me to explain this, I fully believe Asagi is the best written sports anime protagonist on this list due to many reasons. Asagi is someone to me who is a very relatable character, and I might have some bias as I love Blue Lock, but still his character was very well written. He was someone who we could see his growth from the start, and we knew he had the potential to be great, but was burdened by his environment and the things around him. Now in Blue Lock, he was thrown into the fire, next to friends and enemies, and with a coach who was psychotic to help him get to the next level. Asagi always had one desire, and that was to be the greatest striker in the world, and now he has a chance to do so. He's evolving very fast and is someone who is known as the king of adaptability. To me, he is the best written sports anime protagonist, as I can feel an almost perfect emotional connection with him compared to everyone else. The way Asagi thinks, the way he plays his game, everything he does to who he is so relatable, and just hearing more about his ego makes you wonder about things in your life that you did if you used your ego in certain situations. With Asagi, there's a balance between ambition and personal struggle. The journey is never easy, and we see that for Asagi as he climbs to the top of Blue Lock. Even sometimes I wonder how far he will go in his search for his dreams and how I can also incorporate that into my life. How far do I need to go as well, just like how Asagi did? There's a lesson in every sports anime, and Blue Lock has hit my heart the most, but I'm curious on which sports anime protagonist has hit well for you guys, and how they are the best friend protagonists. Well, I thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.